Thanks for joining us. We're starting a new series this week called From the Front Lines. We'll be doing weekly interviews with school teachers, administrators, students to kind of give you a closer look at how they're tackling COVID-19 in the classroom. I think you will be amazed to learn about the innovative ways our schools are ensuring that their buildings are sanitized, their staff is safe, their students are healthy. And brave enough to join me on this very first week is James McNeany, principal at Guerin Catholic High School. Good afternoon, sir.
Hi, Tammy. Thanks for having me.
All right, so bring us up to speed. You guys were one of the first to go back. How's the school year been looking for you?
Yeah, we were one of the first to go back, and it's been an interesting start to the school year. You know, we going into the school year in July and heading into August, we didn't have any cases in our community among our students, among our faculty, or anything, and so. As we began school, we began with everybody in person, so full classes and everything, and really the morale, everything was great. The problem was we did start to see a couple cases that popped in, and because of the rules we know that the State Department of Health has put out, that meant because we weren't able to fully space in the classrooms, having everybody here, that we had a lot of students that that needed to go on quarantine, and so we did have to quarantine a lot of kids, and we're making a pivot next week. We're going to go back actually to a hybrid model, which I know a lot of the other schools have done in the area. But the benefits for us are we're going to be able to better, almost perfectly social distance all the way throughout the day. And so if we do continue to get cases that are in our community, that are among our students, we feel a lot better that we're not going to have to quarantine as many, and really what that means is, let's face it, it means that we're not going to have as many close contacts, so the chance of the virus spreading more throughout our community is much less. So we think that's going to be, with the virus here, that's the safe way to go for us. It's a smart way to go, and we'll probably continue to do that until we're pretty confident that the virus is not in our community anymore.
What are some of your pain points as a school? You can only control what happens inside of your walls. So what's the biggest pain point for you guys?
Well, yeah, I think one of the biggest struggles has been, trying to help our community and our kids understand the importance of mask wearing and social distancing and being safe and not being a part of large groups. And people ask me all the time, does that frustrate you? And I said, well, no, because I think that, that's what we're made for, right? We're made to be together. We're made to be in community. And even just, we hosted a football game, and I spent all the evening walking up and down our student section, just asking them to separate. And I thought, I never thought in my whole life that this would be something that I'd ever be doing, right? Is just telling kids to move away from each other. But I think we can, like you said, we can control here at school, but it is really important to stop the spreading for kids. And this is obviously part of the Show Some Class campaign that the health department's working on. But we really have to help our kids understand, that large gatherings and being together with groups, and especially doing that in close contact and not wearing masks is a surefire way to make sure this virus continues to spread rapidly in our community.
So we want to see these kids. It's okay to socialize. We just want to see them pick smaller circles.
Yeah, that's what we're really telling with our kids. We're certainly not telling families they need to lock their kid in their houses for 2 years and or however long this is going to be around, and not socialize. It's really just being smart about what that socialization looks like. Obviously, we have great weather, so outdoors better than indoor. Small groups are better than big groups. We've kind of thrown out to our community about 4. About 4 is a good number for high school kids to kind of be together. And if you start to get too much more than that, then you really just exponentially increase the chance that if somebody was ill or somebody was, even asymptomatically contagious, that it just spreads. It's going to spread rapidly. So we're not saying the kids can't the kids shouldn't be together. We're just trying to limit that, to smaller groups during this time and probably throughout the winter.
How are the kids adjusting to the changes in the school building? They seem to be pretty resilient from what I'm seeing so far.
It's amazingly resilient. I think they adapted to things, much quicker than probably most of us adults did as we went through. Yeah, they're amazingly resilient. They are great and understand about keeping their masks on. I mean, certainly there's, they get to the lunch table and they sit down, and I feel like that's this big exhale, like, whew, I got to take it off for a moment while I eat some food. But yeah, in general, I think the kids are doing great. Our student population is wonderful, and our kids really understand that this is what we need to do to be back in school, and they want to be back in school, so they're willing to do those things.
I think that's a big point. A lot of these kids that I talk to, believe it or not, they really want to be in school. So we just need to make some small tweaks to our behaviors to make sure that they're going to stay there.
We do. We've had some great leadership opportunities and things that our upperclassmen have taken advantage of. I overheard one group of seniors kind of telling their entire team as they began practices to start the school year. They said, these are the protocols and these are what we need to do, and we're going to make sure that the entire team does these, because they saw last year that group of seniors that lost their senior season. They saw how they ended their school year with schools being closed, with no athletics, lose senior opportunities, the opportunity for spring musicals and plays and concerts and all those things, that didn't happen. And that's not how they want to go out their senior year. They want to have every opportunity they can. And so I really commend a lot of our upperclassmen who have been great. They've really taken that leadership role and tried to help instill in some of the underclassmen the importance of following these guidelines.
That's great. Now, I know that there are some people who say that sending our kids back to school may not be a good idea, that we're creating a super spreader event, but I would venture to guess you don't feel that way. Tell me why.
Well, I don't, because I feel like as a society, I think that education is extremely important, and I feel like I don't think there's much debate that we can do that better when we're in person. And I think as part of our kids' development, they need to be around other kids. They need to see each other, and so I do think that's important. We're doing everything we can here at the school to keep kids safe, and I know there's a lot of different activities that are happening out there. I haven't run into a single one that I felt is as well planned out and well thought out as any kind of school event that's happening, whether that's in the classroom or whether that's some of the athletic events that have happened so far. I do know that I know, certainly in my case, but in talking with my brothers and sisters who are other school administrators, we spend a lot of time working and partnering with the health department and the state health department and other schools throughout the state in trying to plan out and be as careful as we can, with these openings and everything we're doing in school. And the other thing I would say is, schools have an obligation to teach, and no matter what's happening in the world, and right now, obviously, it's this pandemic, we have the opportunity to teach about how to go about things in a safer manner, and the importance of and the science of wearing masks. And I know our biology teachers have hit that very, very hard. I know when we closed, our biology teachers, in the spring, talked a lot about the idea of flattening the curve and why that's important and what this will do. So we do have this obligation to teach whatever's happening in the world. And obviously during a pandemic, that's going to be what a pandemic is, how it affects us, and how we can, as safe as we can, continue with our lives.
Right. You guys were one of the first schools to join in the health department's Show Some Class campaign, and we've got all of the Hamilton County school districts now on board with this. Why were you so anxious to join? What are you hoping that campaign, what kind of impact it will have?
Well, I think for us, we can only control what we can control, right? And obviously we could put a lot of things in place with our kids while they're here with us, or whether they're here at our sports practices or at an event. But this is really a societal issue, and we've got to help everybody understand that in order to keep our schools going and for our kids to have these great activities and these experiences that we all want our kids to have, it's going to take everybody working together, and it's going to take parents being on the same page as the school, and it's going to take parents and kids, making some difficult decisions. It's going to take a kid, walking up to somebody's house thinking there's going to be 4 people there, realizing that there's 15, and saying, you know what, I'm out. I'll talk to you later. That's a tough thing for a teenager. It's a tough thing for adults to do, right? But this is a societal thing that we've got to be able to understand, that those types of choices have consequences. So that's why we're in this together as a county. It's not just Guerin Catholic or Carmel or Westfield or St. Maria Goretti. We really are all united in this effort to to continue to fight through this pandemic.
James, thank you so much for your time. James McNeany, principal at Guerin Catholic High School. First one to fall victim to my from the front lines, but I appreciate you being a good sport about it.
Thanks, Tammy. It was a pleasure.